Hi everybody, Alex here from Expert Forex, and in this video I'm going to show you how I can help you to become rich from Forex trading and how I have generated accounts that produce results as you can see on your screen, 108% gains in 1 month. So that's best monthly returns. So these are average monthly returns. This account I think is about 8 months old, so it's produced almost 800% return. And if you look down here, you can see the fantastic returns that these accounts have generated. I have done this, and that is why I say I am helping you to become rich trading the Forex market. But let's get into that in a little bit more detail. Now in this video I'm going to use our recent upgrade to the profit retriever. There it is. It literally happened 4 days ago, and I will show you the process that I take to manipulate these strategies to provide really robust strategies for the future. So the first thing I did is I opened 24 accounts, and on your screen you can see these 24 accounts, and obviously they've been trading for about 4 days, so it's not much you can read into it, but I'm going to go through this particular schedule in a lot of detail to explain how I use this information to generate winning accounts. So apologies, this slide might be a bit boring, but I'm going to go through the 6 steps you need to do to be successful at robot trading. The first one is never trade live money unless you have demo traded the settings you intend to use for 4 to 6 months and have experienced good results. Then number 2, to do this, demo trade 20 strategies for 4 to 6 weeks to see which strategies perform well and which ones not. Make sure that your account leverage and size is in line with the account used to create your settings. So in other words, you would demo trade those strategies, not for a continuous period of 6 weeks, because as you'll see, you review these strategies almost on a daily basis, but at least on a weekly basis. There is no need to ever change a strategy that is already working and doing well. So the idea is to find those ones that are working well and you just leave them around alone. But for the failing strategies, you need to work out why they are failing and why others are succeeding. So that over that time you can introduce only the very best strategies into your live trading. Now once you've identified those successful strategies, you don't just go and plug them into your live account. You reduce the lot sizing by 50% to reduce risk, because Forex trading is actually all about managing risk. So what you would do, you introduce it into your live account at 50% lot sizing, which reduces your risk by 50%. And only after it's been successful for a month will you increase those lots. And then what you would do is you just repeat this process over and over again, continuously adding new strategies into your demo portfolio and continuously introducing really successful strategies into your live portfolio. And this is an ongoing process, and it can last, and certainly the linked account service is an example of that, where this process has produced accounts that are over a year old but that have gone through this process on a continuous basis. Okay, so let's go and have a look at more interesting stuff. Here are the results that have been produced so far for the upgraded profit retriever, which is the alternating strategy. So basically, these are the results. So you can read quite a lot into this. Firstly, the top guys, they're doing extremely well, and that is actually a worry. To produce 10% return in a week or 4 days is too high. It's actually, the expression is high risk, high return, and what we're basically saying, this return is indicating that there's too much risk involved in this trading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into these accounts and possibly reduce the risk of those particular accounts by reducing the lot sizing for some of the trading or increasing the gap sizing for those particular currencies. So although those are good, I'm already learning what is supercharging success here, but also how to damper it down so that it becomes more robust. Then I look at the failing ones, and I can see here are some really bad failing ones. Clearly those are settings are way too aggressive, and I'll scale them down considerably. I'll also go through change the settings for those particular ones. And what I will do is because they've already got a bad track record, I would actually delete that account and replace it with a brand new fresh account with my corrected settings. So I won't keep that baggage of bad results in my portfolio. I'll replace it with a fresh account. And that's the way that I do these things. Now there are a few other things that come out of these results immediately that I can see. For instance, this account over here is generating huge need for margin. The margin used there is out of proportion to the other accounts, and I've already looked at this one, and the broker has obviously set that particular currency up in a very strange way that it's almost double charging for margin. So here's another decision that I need to make. Do I actually trade this currency because it needs so much margin? So testing like this is very important. You do not see these things in back testing, optimization and things like that. They only come out in forward testing. So what I might do here is I might not trade this currency anymore. I'll change that account to trade another currency, scrap this account completely, and replace it with a new account. So what is happening is I'm instituting a process of continuous improvement. I'm scaling down the winners, I'm scaling up the losers, and I'm getting rid of things that I don't like seeing. You know, even the $700 down there for the margin is a little bit excessive. I'll investigate that. Is it because of the currency that I'm trading there, or what is going on? Bad margin management is one of the missing skills from traders that get margin calls unexpectedly because they don't watch the margin. And here's an example where the broker might have made a bad setting for this particular currency, but it's going to cost you money in the long run if you trade this particular currency. Okay, so there's not many things that can go wrong with any strategy that you trade. In particular, to the profit retriever, lot sizing can be too big, which is the most common one. So it's best to start with low lot sizing. Targets and stops can be too big or too small. And then that's easy to adjust. You just adjust the gap sizing and things like that. The direction could be wrong, and that often happens. You just change the direction. You say reverse the direction that this EA is trading this currency in, and that's a simple fix. And settings are too aggressive. Now that gets a little bit more tricky because it involves the lot sizing, increasing and decreasing strategies, and you can start fooling around with alternatives there, and I'll show you a bit of that. So typically what I'd do is I'd have a look at the actual trading that's happened on the chart, and here's an example of some trading that's happened over the last 4 days. In this particular case, it's the Euro USD, and this particular account has done pretty well, and it has 3 open trades. There they are, and it was opened at 1.5 lots there, and then 24 lots, and then 1.6 lots. So the lot sizing jumps around a bit in this particular strategy, but overall the price has to come down to this orange line to come out at a profitable transaction. If not, that orange line will move up and up to squash the price into a position where it will hit the orange line. So I would study this chart to see if there's any particular problems that I can pick up. For instance, here's a trend going up, but luckily the strategy turned into buys and followed the trend up quite nicely, and so on. The other thing that I would do is I would actually optimize this particular part of the tradings to show me how I could have improved my settings over this short period. Now I know it's a short period. I'd optimize it. I'd look at the results, but I might not use them. I would just put them into my memory and say, you know, I could have got an extra $1,000 out of this bit of trading if my gap sizing was smaller, or this was bigger, and that type of thing. I just put that in, and that is my learning process. Is I learn continuously what kind of improvements can I make. Now, the process I've just shown you is what we teach in our 0 to Hero course, and as you can see, it's pretty intensive and requires quite a bit of experience to analyze what goes wrong and what goes right in these demo accounts. And that is why I go through this process to help you to become rich from Forex. And the reason for that is that these results are then fed into the link to success service. So in other words, only the very best final results will go into the link to success service, and you can share in those results by just linking your account to those particular accounts. What I also do is I share the successful settings with our paid members of our premium forum. There's an example of 50 of the proven settings that have come out of the linked service that those members can use. They are as a result of most probably months and months of continuously updating and reviewing settings and changing the settings and so on. So that is another alternative. You can basically use those settings and purchase the Profit Retriever on its own and trade it on its own, rather than using the linking service. So those are the two alternatives, but as you can see, I'm helping you all the way by providing settings and results that have been proven. And I hope you understand a little bit better what effort goes into producing these huge monthly return gains and the robust nature of these particular gains, and what kind of efforts I go through to produce these results. As always, links to anything discussed in this video will be in the description of the video as well as in the first commentary of the video. So from me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.